Welcome to You Ponder That with Pastor Steve Newt. Good morning, Pastor Steve here. Colossians 2:20 to 23. If you died with Christ from the basic principles of the world, why, as though living in the world, do you subject yourself to regulations? Do not touch, do not taste, do not handle, which all concern things which perish, while with the using according to the commandments and doctrines of men. These things have an appearance of wisdom, self-imposed religion, false humility, and neglect of the body, but are of no value against the indulgences of the flesh. The problem of grace is that people can't seem to accept that it is all there is. Seriously, we have the idea that we come to Jesus by faith, then we have to hang on or work for our salvation and not just work it out. Paul had the same problem to face in the early church, as seen in Colossians and in Galatians. It says in chapter 3, O foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you that you should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Jesus Christ was clearly portrayed among you as crucified? This only I want to learn from you. Did you receive the Spirit by the works of the law, or by the hearing of faith? Are you foolish? Having begun in the Spirit, are you now being made complete or perfect by the flesh? Have you suffered so many things in vain, if indeed it was in vain? Look at the early church. One commentator puts it better than I could. He said, did you receive the Spirit? The answer to Paul's rhetorical question is obvious, he says. The Galatians had received the Spirit when they were saved. Romans 8:9, 1 Corinthians 12, 1 John 3. Not through the keeping of the law, but through saving faith granted when hearing the gospel. Romans 10:17. The hearing of faith is actually hearing with faith. Paul appealed to the Galatians' own salvation to refute the Judaizers' false teaching that keeping the law is necessary for salvation. Look, I see it. Paul was so stirred up by those who tried to steer people into a me-oriented religion, away from a God-oriented one. The problem with grace is that all the weight of saving and keeping falls on the back of the Savior, where it belongs, by the way. And also the full weight of glory goes to God as well. Ephesians 2:8 and 10, and he's careful to tell the why of grace. He said, so you wouldn't have any reason to boast. God won't share his glory with anybody. And that goes for our eternal purposes in salvation as well. If we could work for our salvation, we'd have bragging rights. If we could work to keep his free salvation, we would have bragging rights as well. Paul wants them and us to chill out and enjoy the good things of God, the gifts that he gave us to enjoy. He wants us to be free from the burden of legalism and wants that we should walk in love. The story is told of a woman who had gotten a job in a busy office, and she worked like crazy for a paycheck because, she was very diligent. Time passed, and they began to realize there was a bond between them that was stronger than just employer-employee, and pretty soon they got married. She stayed at the job, but it was different now. Now she was working for something that she was a part of and with a man that she loved. What a difference serving God could be if we understood the privilege we have of being God's family, the bride of Christ. Our work for him would make us really believe that he was right when he said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. You ponder that, Pastor Steve.